Hello and welcome back to another episode of PokeArchives. In this episode we're going to be focusing on Charmander, the fire type starter Pokemon from Generation 1. So let's get this thing going. Right, let's get this thing on the road then. Obviously we're looking at Charmander. It's number 4 in the National and Kanto Pokedexes, and is also number 234 in the Johto Pokedex. It is a lizard Pokemon and is simply a fire type. If we first look at its abilities, we can see it has two, Blaze and Solar Power, which is a hidden ability. Blaze increases Charmander's fire type moves by 1.5 times when its health drops below a third of its total. Solar Power, on the other hand, doubles Charmander's speed when it is sunny. This is helpful because Charmander's fire type moves also increased then, but it does reduce its health at the end of each turn. If we move on now so I can tell you where to get a Charmander, it can be received as a starter Pokemon from Professor Oak in Red, Blue, Fire Red and Leaf Green. It can also be received from a trainer on Route 24 in Pokemon Yellow. And finally you can get it in Heart Gold and Soul Silver from Professor Oak after you've defeated Red, so it's kind of an end game thing. Charmander's base stats are as follows: Health points 39, Attack 42, Defense 53, Special Attack 60, Special Defense 50, Speed 65. This gives it a total of 309, which is the same as Chimchar and Cyndaquil, all fire-type starter Pokemon, and all begin with a C. Possible link there, you know? And looking now at EV yields, we can see that defeating a Charmander yields 1 speed EV. And now breeding groups, we can see it is part of the Monster breeding group and also the Dragon breeding group, meaning it will take a minimum of 5,355 steps to hatch its egg, which obviously will have to hatch into a Charmander. Type effectiveness wise, Charmander is weak to ground, rock and water types, but is very resistant to bug, steel, fire, grass and ice types. Like other fire types, it has no immunities. You can see on the screen now its learn set from Generation 5, obviously we've got the usual Scratch, Ember, etc. We've also got Fire Fang, Fire Spin and leading up to Inferno, which is its last move learnt at level 46. And you can now see the list of TMs and HMs it can learn. There's a lot of different ones here. There's Dragon Claw, because obviously it's part of the Dragon breeding group, so it's a kind of a link there. Shadow Claw as well, Flamethrower, Rock Smash, Cut and Strength for all the HMs it can learn. Breeding wise, it can learn stuff like Ancient Power, Belly Drum, Dragon Pulse, Dragon Dance, Dragon Rush and Outrage, so quite a lot of Dragon moves focused on here. And via tutoring in Generation 5, it can learn obviously Fire Pledge, as all the fire starters can. Other stuff like Iron Tail, Outrage as well, Sleep Talk, Snore, and also Thunder Punch, which is quite interesting. And as you can see, the shards that they are required are on there as well. Now if we want to look at some competitive battling techniques, Charmander isn't used as much as other unevolved fire types like Ponyta and Houndour, because it's, well, being a fire type as well is not great because it's weak to Stealth Rock, which is a very common move used in competitive battling, as well as others, you know, I could go on, but the one thing that kind of sets it apart from the others is it can learn Dragon Dance, which not many other fire type Pokemon can actually learn. So obviously the setup we're going to look at is going to be using that Dragon Dance and trying to use it to our advantage. So this is the Dragon Dance technique. You want to give your Charmander a Life Orb and a preferred an Adamant Nature, just so to boost that attack stat. Moveset, you want Dragon Dance, Flare Blitz, Thunder Punch and Brick Break or Rock Slide. IVs, you want to put 21 in health points, and you can put the others in attack if you want. Well, you can't put them in what you preferred. And EVs, you want to put 180 in attack, 92 in defense and 236 in speed, so you can get a fast, high-attacking, powerful Pokemon. So obviously we want to use Dragon Dance a lot to set up Charmander's attack stat, and obviously Flare Blitz is the move you're going to be wanting to use most because it's a stab move, so it's the most powerful stab move available to it, really. Thunder Punch is also a good complement to it, so if you do face a water type you can use it if you need to. And you obviously, for the last one, you've got Brick Break or Rock Slide. Obviously Brick Break can be used to take out Dark types and normal types, but Rock Slide, again, other fire types as well. But it has a lower accuracy, so you want to really think about that. And then another setup option is a choice scarf. You know, just using it on Flare Blitz again, really, making it an effective revenge killer just to pop in and take him out. Now, if you do come up against a Charmander in a competitive battle, obviously you want to use a water type mainly, not one that's weak to fighting type moves or rock type moves, preferably. Or you can send out another fire type to kind of resist it, obviously, but mind it, if Charmander is carrying a rock slide, that's not great. Now, as the majority of you will know, Charmander evolves to Charmeleon at level 16, so it's the same as all the other starters from Generation 1, so there's not much different there. And now if we move on to some trivia, Charmander actually has the longest name of all the unevolved starter Pokemon, so it's longer than every single generation, so it's a bit interesting there. And it's also the first fire type and single type Pokemon at National Pokedex order, as obviously the only ones before it are Ivysaur, Bulbasaur, Venusaur, and they're all double types. So, and an interesting point here, in the first generation on its sprite and the artwork, this is in the red-green Japanese versions, Charmander's back actually has a spike or a small line of spikes on the back, but they weren't included in the future generation, possibly just to defer away from Charmander being a dinosaur. It's more of a lizard, really. And finally, Charmander is a tallest fire-type starter Pokemon, surpassing obviously Chimchar, Cyndaquil, all the others, Tepig, etc. You know, yeah. Right, so that ends another video. Obviously, in the next episode we'll be focusing on Charmeleon, so don't forget to tune in for that. Obviously, subscribe so you don't miss any of these great videos. I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.